Would you like to quickly and easily get a small business loan? Well, I'm about to reveal to you everything you need to know to get a small business loan with a low interest rate, great term, and very affordable payment. I'm going to actually show you over 10 types of small business loans you can get right now. We're going to talk about small business loans you can get as a startup or even as a new business if you don't have cash flow to verify. We're going to talk about how to get small business loans even if you don't have good credit, even if you don't have collateral. We're going to talk about small business loans you can get with really good terms, including SBA loans. I'm going to show you how to get small business loans even if you're high risk, even if you've been denied and you've tried to get approved before but haven't been able to secure the funding you need. And I'm going to sprinkle in some of my best tips and tactics along the way to get the most money at the best terms. And if you stay to the end of this training, I'm going to get you access to our funding vault of over 27 ways to get money to grow your business. We got a lot to cover, so let's dive in. The very first step to get a small business loan is to understand the type of loans you can get now. Now, I condense this and call this our 3 C's cash acquisition formula because it's just a really simple formula to know the kind of money you can get now. And here's how it works. Lenders primarily look at one of 3 strengths to get you money. Now, the more of these strengths you have, the more types of money become available. But if you have even one of these strengths, you could typically get a small business loan. So the first strength is cash flow. If you have consistent, regular cash flow in your business, that could qualify you by itself for a small business loan. The second C is good credit. Maybe you have good credit, maybe someone around you has good credit that could be a guarantor. If that's the case, then you can qualify for a small business loan. And the third C is collateral. So if you have some kind of asset that could serve as collateral, that can get you financing as well. If you have none of the C's, well, it's tougher to get money, but I still have some solutions that will work for you. We're going to talk about that as well in this training. So let's dive in and talk about the first strength, good credit. There's a lot of things that can work here: business credit, consumer credit. So let's unpack this. So when it comes to getting financing based on credit, if you have good personal credit or a guarantor has good personal credit, there's a great program out there called Credit Line Hybrid. Now, what I like about Credit Line Hybrid is it's no doc. There's no income verification. So even if you don't have tax returns or bank statements, your tax returns or bank statements are good, you can still get approved. So this means you can get approved for Credit Line Hybrid even as a startup business. You can get approved for as much as $150,000 in credit lines with 0% rates for 6 to 18 months. So it makes it really easy to have a very low payment on these credit lines. And a lot of the credit lines report to the Business Credit Reporting Agency. So you could build business credit and make your business even more fundable while getting up to $150,000 credit lines. Pretty powerful program. Plus, you could even take the cash out of these credit lines at 0%. That's really cool as well. This is why it's one of my favorite funding programs. All you need to get approved is good personal credit or a guarantor that has some. So let's say you have a family member, a friend, a potential investor, which 50% of our clients do get Credit Line Hybrid with one of those people, then you can use them as a guarantor. They could be the signer. You could get the credit lines. They report on the business credit report, so don't even adversely affect their consumer credit. And it's a nice way to tap into people around you and the capital that they may get access to for you without actually having to rely on them to give you cash. So Credit Line Hybrid, great for startups, $150,000 credit lines, absolutely one of my favorite funding programs. Now, the second way you can get money for a small business is to actually tap into some kind of asset that could serve as collateral. And there's a lot of different options that work here. So you can use collateral-based lending to buy new equipment or inventory, or you could borrow against inventory equipment you or somebody else may have. You might have stocks, bonds, 401ks, or IRAs. You could borrow as much as 90% of the value of stocks and bonds or 100% of the value of 401k or IRA. And it doesn't have to be you. It could be family member, friend, potential investor. I say this a lot, but 75% of business owners get money from family and friends. Instead of relying on a family member or a friend to give you cash, it's way easier to let you leverage their stocks, for example, where they could still earn interest on those stocks. You get a 5% interest credit line against those stocks, and everybody wins. It's easier than relying on them to actually give you cash. So maybe you or somebody else has stocks, bonds, 401ks, IRAs, equipment, inventory. Commercial real estate can work as an asset. Residential real estate, even vehicles can work as an asset. If you're an insurance provider, maybe you have a book of business, or maybe you have account receivables where you let your customers pay you on terms. Any of those open up funding options for you. And what I like about this category of funding is you can get really low interest rates, 1 to 5%. Your personal credit doesn't matter, and you don't need anything as collateral other than the asset you're serving up as collateral. And you can get approved without cash flow. So that all this funding, even credit line hybrid, works for brand new startup businesses as well as already established companies. Now, the third C of the cash acquisition formula, of course, is cash flow. And you can get cash flow based financing just because you have consistent cash flow. You don't need any assets as collateral. You don't even need good credit. Matter of fact, a lot of lenders don't even look at personal credit quality here. And there's a lot of options that work in this bucket as well. There's a merchant cash advance where you can get approved and funded in less than 72 hours. All you need to get approved is 6 months worth of actual time in business and revenue coming in. If you have that, they're going to get about 3 to 6 months worth of your merchant statements and your bank statements, and you can get as much as 15% of whatever your annual revenue is going to be based on whatever's deposited in your bank account with Visa and MasterCard, American Express type of credit card transactions. Now, if you do a lot of cash deposits and checks, well, then you want to look at cash flow financing. With cash flow financing, you can get approved with as little as $5,000 a month in revenue and 6 months in business, and they'll actually lend you as much as 15% of whatever your annual revenue is based on everything it's deposited in your bank account, including cash and checks. And again, you can get this funding in less than 72 hours, and personal credit doesn't even matter. There's also a great merchant account credit line that you can get just because you have consistent revenue as well. And there's all kinds of other credit lines. So for example, Blue Vine, Fundbox offer credit lines where you don't even need to supply bank statements. They'll actually plug right into your bank account, do the underwriting electronically, and in about 24 hours or less, you can actually get money to fund your actual business. And also PayPal, Square, and Stripe. I love them. PayPal, Square, and Stripe will lend you as little as $5,000, as much as $500,000, and they'll give you typically 30% of whatever you're processing through them now. Plus, in a lot of cases, there's a set fee, there's no interest rate, and they don't care about personal credit. So even if you've been in business only 6 months, if you accept customers' payments from PayPal, from Square, or Stripe, that opens up even more funding options for you as well. But what if you have more than one of the C's? Well, if you have consistent cash flow and good credit, that opens up all kinds of lines of credit and term loans if you could supply even 1 year's worth of tax returns. And if you have 3 years worth of tax returns showing your revenue and you have good personal credit and some kind of asset that could serve as collateral, that unlocks SBA loans for you. And there's a lot of different kind of SBA loans out there, including 7A loans, which are for working capital, general purposes, whether it be expansion, marketing, even hiring new people. Okay, that is a general working capital category, so you can use it for a lot of different reasons. And there's loans and credit lines up to $5 million there. Or you could use an SBA 504 loan to purchase or refinance a fixed asset, maybe utilities, maybe land, maybe real estate, even equipment can work for 504 SBA loans. And there's even SBA micro loans where you can get that are lower than $5,000 or lower than $50,000, and you could even get these as newer businesses. So the key to the 3C cash acquisition formula is that if you only have a strength, cash flow, credit, collateral, or let's throw in a fourth, which is a cosigner or a guarantor, well, that unlocks the ability for you to get money for your business. If you don't have one of those C's, well, then you can build business credit. Business credits where you can get high limit revolving accounts in your business name, build a business credit profile and score to open up 6 different kinds of funding. Starter vendor accounts, you can get retail credit at most major retailers, you can get fleet credit to use for fuel, repair, maintenance of vehicles, you can get cash credit like Visa cards, MasterCards, auto financing, places like Ford, GM, Toyota. You can even get a 6th kind of funding, which is computer leasing. So business credit opens up a lot of doors for you if you don't have any of the C's. And of course, if you have couple of the C's, cash flow and credit, you can get term loans, lines of credit, and all 3 of the C's opens up SBA loans. So there's a lot of different ways for you to get small business loans to grow your business. Want to get approved? Go to creditsuite.com/get funding. When you go to creditsuite.com/get funding, answer a handful of questions. Our funding team will give you a call. And we work with over 1,000 funding sources. Every legitimate funding program will tell you all the loans and credit lines you can get right now. And don't forget to give us a call for a free consultation. On that consultation call, we'll look at the fundability aspects, the lender's secret criteria that oftentimes may get you denied, help you fix those things to have the best chance of getting approved. We'll also pull your business credit reports for you for free with Dun & Bradstreet Equifax Experience. Saves you about $250. We'll go over those with you, give you tips and tactics to build your business credit. We'll even do that funding qualification, tell you all the loans and credit lines you can get right now. All happens on that free consultation. Give us a call at 877-600-2487. That's 877-600-2487. You can also schedule your consult online at creditsuite.com creditsuite.com/consult. That's creditsuite.com/consult. Did you get value from this training? If you learned things you didn't know before you came here, do me a favor, hit the like button on this video. That tells other people this has value and helps us help more entrepreneurs. And also make sure that you subscribe on the channel you're watching on to get notified when we release more training, which we always do, of cool ways that you can get money to start and grow your business.